she's a very controlling woman.
Hi, this is Kimberley. I have for you today an add-on from the Like series. This is Papa Ronnie Watts and the video that I promised you yesterday. The one where I just nannered and a couple of you asked, well, where's the video? Well, this is it. This series has also been called Removing the Likes Project, or something to that effect. But today's video is CW's father, Papa Ronnie Watts. This is his first interview that he gave when he and Pinhead got there from the airport. Lunkhead was being prepared for his polygraph, and Mr. Watts, his father, gave his first interview. Although Papa Ronnie does not utter the filler word like, he's been included in this series. In addition, he doesn't use really that many filler words. Well, maybe he does, because I can't understand his mumbling out self. I've linked 3 videos in the description box below. This video, UnJustified and Zaff Girl both did subtitles for Papa Ronnie, because much to my delight, I'm not the only one that has wondered if he's speaking a foreign language or something. God almighty, Kimberly, do you think he's speaking a foreign language or something? I just can't understand him. It's a very soft, rapid mumble is the way I would describe it. Without, and I mean no disrespect. I'm not perfect. So I'm going to link those videos below that have the subtitles, which was no doubt a heavy project. And as Papa Ronnie says, I'll just put it that way.
Shanann, I mean, you have to get to know her to be around her. Put it that way.
I just want to know exactly what he said, damn it. And I'll just put it like that. The reason I included it in the Like series is because he's part of CW's posse, and he could have very well been infected with Like syndrome. I mean, they were playing in the pool together, jumping on the trampoline together, probably drinking out of the same beer can even. Well, I saw pictures of both Pinhead and Papa Ronnie with their swimming costumes on, playing in the backyard when Cindy let them outside to play. So he could have very well inflicted his father then, introducing that unwelcome word like into his vocabulary. So it is transmissible to others. Look, I mean, it very well could have transferred to Papa Ronnie in the car from the airport to the police station. You can't social distance in a car. And you know they were both sitting up front. Cricky had it. I don't know who started off with it. I think Nikki did and gave it to CW. And then they became Cricky. CW's likes when he starts lying, the likes tumble out of his mouth. But I've taken out some filler words. For some reason, it seemed to me to be more clear towards the end. I did clean up the audio, or maybe there's no improvement at all, and I'm just saying that to get you to stick around. The only way to know is to listen to the entire interview, right? But I cleaned up the audio best I could. I'm sick of this. Ronnie's was hard. I've wasted a lot of time on... Well, no, because I've learned things. It's not a waste. It's never a waste. Right, damn it. Be positive. Be fucking positive. I'm going to play the video now. I should just go ahead and cut out of here because I'm starting to sound pretty damn boring. I almost forgot to tell you, I was supposed to have my surgery today, but the doctor had a trauma patient come in that he had to tend to. So I have been rescheduled for next Tuesday. So thank you all for your prayers and kind words. That was very, very sweet. Yep, I'll be here through the weekend. Yay! Maybe I'll get another video out, but don't count on it, alright? Much love and peace. Thank you for listening.
So how you doing? Little stressed out and stuff. Totally upset. I can't understand what happened or what's going on. Yeah. Let's see. Like I was telling shit, Granny. Yeah. She's a very controlling woman as far as that. And my wife, she's just what she
somewhere, just your name and all that information so I can take notes.
Ronnie
Watts.
WATTS.
WATTS. Okay, and you're out of state, right?
Yeah, I live in North Carolina. Well, I live in Spring Lake, North Carolina.
Spring.
28390.
That's itself?
Yeah.
And then, now this is Chris is your son?
Yeah. One boy and one girl.
All right. And so you just flew out here today? This morning? Okay. And if you could, maybe you could just start with what happened, how you became aware that there's a situation.
Chris had called me, let's see, get the days right, the days Wednesday, right?
Yes, sir.
And this was, he called me and he said, did they have something going on? I don't know what's going on.
Do you remember what day that was?
It was Monday.
You know, approximately what time?
It was this morning. About the time when I got home from work, it was around 6:30 my time, so then about 4:30 my parents told me something had been. If my memory serves me right, I'm keep the dates straight right now.
Yeah, no, and it's just as best as you ever call. So, okay, so about that time you gave your call, I said, what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did he tell you about that?
He said, man, the girls are missing, or gone, that's what he told me. They're missing, they're gone, he didn't know where they're at. He said, she left her phone, her purse, her car. He said, he has no clue what, she went off with the kids, or what was going on. He was dumbfounded about it, more or less. He told me the situation, what happened, that other girl. He told me what happened that morning, that they had a discussion, because she already knew this was coming, that he wanted to get a separation and put the house up for sale. And he said, the marriage just wasn't working,
Were you aware of that prior to this phone call? Yeah. So you knew they were married?
Yeah. And he told me about a couple weeks prior to that, when he'd come down she'd come down from North Carolina for 6 weeks, and staying some with us, her parents, her parents live about 30-40 miles from us.
Also, were they originally living in North Carolina before they moved out here?
Colorado. You come up.
I'm talking about Chris and, how is it? Shan'Ann.
Yeah. They met, actually, a friend of ours introduced them. That's what somebody did go where it was. And Chris left home at 18 when he graduated. He moved to Charlotte. He went to NASCAR Tech, and he worked at a Ford dealership for a few years. And then him and Shanann moved in together out there. And then they decided to move to Colorado, out here. Now she's had friends in here for some reason. I don't know if they grew up out here, but anyway, that's what they did.
And how old were they when they met? Or how long ago was that?
7 years ago.
7 or 8. And how old is Chris? I'm not even sure.
His birthday is May 16th, 17th. My anniversary is one day. His birthday's May 16th or 17th, and it's 1985. It's 33.
So they met about 7 or 8 years ago in North Carolina, and then moved out. Do you remember when they moved out here?
That I couldn't tell you. I don't know exactly when that was.
Just the background information. But, okay. So they moved on out here to Colorado. Did they have children while they were in North Carolina? Or did they have one here? And it was 2 children.
Yeah.
And then
one got on CC and one on the way.
So when was that visit? You said that she was in North Carolina for about 6 weeks visiting her family?
That was calendar.
I know about that. It's handy to have
I don't remember all the dates and stuff about, but they just flew back. She went to the Lavelle thing in Arizona.
I got one. Do you think it's July?
What's the date?
Today? 15th. I'm sorry, I got all sorts of stuff.
She went to they flew back here, 8th and 9th, I think.
Oh, so this was recent. They just got back from North Carolina?
Yeah.
And it was the whole family?
Yeah, but she stayed out there 6 weeks. Chris came down for the last week. He came down there, which I got to see him one time when he was down there. She refused to let us see the kids. Because her and my wife had fallen out.
Okay.
Twice.
Okay. So for this week, they were both there?
Yeah, so we went on vacation. Me and my son-in-law and my other 2 grandkids, my wife stuff went to Myrtle Beach, and they were in North Myrtle Beach at the same time, and it was like 5 miles apart, but still to the grandkids.
Yeah, so I definitely want to hear about that, some of the stuff that's been going on.
Yeah.
But you think they came back to Colorado the 9th to the 10th?
Somewhere, because she flew out and went to Arizona for the Lavelle thing, and the getaway things they go on, which if I'm not mistaken, she went out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and flew back Monday morning, early in the morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning, I think.
Came back here on Monday. Okay. So she went from North Carolina to the conference.
No, they came back here first.
Oh, they came back here first?
Yeah.
And then she turned around.
Yeah, then she turned around. She went back here maybe 2 days. One day, I think it was. I don't know back.
Okay.
I'm
in Las Vegas?
No, it was in Arizona. And
Arizona.
Pull up some of her stuff still on her Facebook, so I'm like, hey, I think I'm on this block. I said, well, why find it?
Oh, and I forgot to ask, but the girls were with them, right? When they visited in North Carolina? Yeah. They were.
That's okay. They were now for 6 weeks. When Chris came down the last week, which was and this is we haven't talked to her about that blowout the second week she was there, or second weekend she stayed with us, and she sent this back to us. This one added, okay, when they got back here, they did the sonogram for the baby. We have not talked to her from the time that I'll tell you about the story about the falling out. She sent the picture from the sonogram to me at 8 o'clock in the morning, my time, so at 6 o'clock in the morning here. No comment or nothing on it, no nothing. At 11:30, okay, we changed it. Okay, then at 1:30 that afternoon, she texted back, wanted to share the picture of the new baby, and she was reaching out. So that's when Chris, I think, originally told her that we went separation and stuff. That was, I'm not sure exactly when he told her. I think more or less told her because he told me when he was down for the visit. He was he said those 4 or 5 weeks he was here by himself. He said, I felt this alone then as I did when she was here. There's no, she's not the time, so I don't love her anymore.
And was that the first time, or you were with her prior to that?
I could sense something was going on because it just wasn't all lovey-dovey like it used to be. And anytime we come visit them, we come here a couple times a year and FaceTime with them and stuff. She's sitting on her ass on the phone, doing her little stuff. Chris is running around, taking care of kids, feeding kids, doing this, doing that. And she teaches him about doing anything with kids, taking care of kids. And I said, Chris, I said, you're doing everything with the kids, getting to class, feeding them, doing everything with them. He loves them kids today. Well, he didn't do anything to hurt one of the kids, not or neither one. But,
and was it something that would, from what you were seeing or what Chris had said to you, it seemed like it was serious marital problems even prior to this visit back to North Carolina?
I wouldn't say it's serious. It was something that's been going on and on. He said I should have done this a long time ago. And just like the baby now they're having. She was telling us when she was down here to visit, it was Christmas idea, 80-20, to have another baby because he wanted a boy. And I mentioned that to him when he come down. About one afternoon I got to see him. He said it wasn't him, it was all her at one another's house. And so she flipped everything around on that type deal. They haven't put her down or nothing, but anyway, kind of person she is. Everything's about her. She has this persona that she wants, this image she wants out there all the time. With what everything's hunky-dory, everything's beautiful in the world and stuff. Well, it's not like this. Obviously, everything she has on Facebook is a mask. It's just put on.
Is it all very positive? And
everything that she felt put out there, yeah. That's what she does.
What was it, the company that she works for? Is it makeup or something?
It's a veil. It's called, the company's a veil, but it's called Thrive. It's a nutrition thing, patches and pills and nutrition shakes and all that stuff. And it's come out with this new weight loss patch and stuff.
And was that like a part-time job that she had?
That's all she did.
That's all she did is full-time?
She had, before she got into this, doing 2 or 3 other jobs, like little department stores out here and stuff. Actually, she was years ago when it was here, when he worked at the Ford dealership, before he got to the old days, she got there and started selling cars, didn't she? Doing that. Yeah. She's a salesperson, believe me. See, that's what her knack is.
And is that what she does for Brian? She's a salesperson.
She has a pyramid type thing. She has all these different people under her, and what they sell, she makes money on what they sell. So it's a team thing, and I think she was like 34th or 35th at the company.
Oh, so she's pretty good at it.
And I actually asked Chris, I told him, I said, if y'all do decide to start pregnant, whatever, she's coming back to North Carolina, or you want to stay out here? And he said, man, the child support on that thing, so I have to stay out there. So I can't make that kind of money back there, because it makes good money. That's what, nobody asking what does she make. He says she makes pretty much what I make. So make money.
And I think somebody told me there, so he's a supervisor for?
He's coming up for a former job, yeah.
Former job? And a girlfriend?
Yeah. Okay. That's what they're looking at him for now.
Now, I know the oil money plays pretty well.
Yeah.
Do you know about what that is? What kind of salary?
Never asked him. I don't want to get into that.
Not sure. And I'm curious because he makes what he makes.
Yeah, I mean, she just started doing this last few years. I don't know what she made before.
Mm-hmm.
But she's making good money now.
Do you know, did they have any
but he said he don't see a reason they have to live in that big ass house they live in, but they don't need that kind. You know, as far as them, they were living 2 or 2 kids, they didn't need that, $300,000 house sitting out there. He said sometimes it was struggle, you know, making sure you make that money, making that big house payment. I said, well, that's part of life, everybody goes through that. Sure.
But as far as you know now, nothing major.
No, it was not, he never called last week for my money.
You know, people say they'd be like, hey, I'm a real bad dad. She's a real bad dad.
Sometimes when Cece was born, they even paid for my wife's flight to come out here, when she was being born and everything, help watch after kids, and when they go on some of their Lavelle trips, sometimes he went, sometimes he didn't, depending on what time to get on. My wife would come out here, I'd come out here too, watch the kids while she was gone.
So normal, everybody's got their bills.
I'll tell another story. I was telling another guy when she came down for a visit. 6 weeks she was down there. Like I said, she was staying 4 days with us, 3-4 days with her parents. And every time, I go back from the very beginning when we first met her, I got something that was so different about her. I was telling him they would come down from the other kids' birthday party from Charlotte, and they had bought these Power Ranger costumes to wear. That's what was in back then. That was years ago, and they forgot the head mask, the head thing. And that morning at the party, she sent them all the way back to Charlotte. It was a 3-hour drive where we were at, back to Charlotte, and 3 hours back to get the mask, just to prove my point. Anyway, that was just something I said from that boy. I said, the mask thing, wear 15-20 minutes, they don't take the damn thing off anyway, and just start paying for kids, and then what is a big deal. But when she come down this last time, just stayed like 3 or 4 days with us, like first 3 or 4 days, everything's fine. I mean, everybody's getting along good, having a good time. I can show you a video here of the grandkids with my wife and stuff. And you can play on that. That's my wife. I don't have to do with that white kid. I let that happen. I don't have to flash with my week.
And so everything was good at the beginning of the trip?
Yeah, well, I mean, every time she'd come over, it was just a matter of time for something would blow up. The third or fourth day, whatever, the first time she came over, my next door neighbor had passed away, and that was the day that she was going to go back to Southern Pines. And my wife said, well, I had to get my hair done, I had to go pick up the flowers from my neighbor, and she come by where I work at a sewer dealership that signs paper on the car I was getting at. She was said, we're going to take you back now, or wait this afternoon. No, just wait. It's going to be gone a while. It's going to take a while to go. There's no problem. So she went and got her hair done, went and got flowers, came by my place, and realized she left her phone at the hairdresser. So my daughter, she's in her hair done too, she went and got up and came back to my work. It was at the finance office signing the paperwork. Shanann texted me and said, where in the hell is City at? I'm in along here, we get the 5 hours instead of your kids on that. I went and bought a trampoline for them, a swimming pool, a little pool and stuff, and another TV for another room with a bigger TV so they can watch and everything. And she had my wife in tears in the finance office. That's how bad she jumped in my wife's case. And I said, no question for that. And then she said, I'll be there in a minute. That's all right, I got my dad to come get me. She's getting here, we're going to get the car seat, so I'll ride his truck. So she left mad that day. Chris Hall was that night, and Cindy said, my wife asked me, what are you going to do? Somebody I can't like get along with her. She said, Mom, just let it go. And I said, that's just the way she is sometimes. Just let it go. She said, okay, I'll do it for you. All right, second time she come up with me, we had fun. We had all kinds of videos and pictures of them in the pool. My other 2 grandkids come over. Ella and Cece, that's Shanann's kids, are 4 and 3. My other 2 grandkids are 10 and 7. The top of them, that's their tattoo right there. The double D's. I was going to get on this side for them. They were finished having kids anyway. But they come over, and Cece's got a nut allergy. They knew about it. And my wife had bought some ice cream, which actually one of them had nuts in it. We had it up on the upper shelf. But Cece couldn't get to it. She got in the refrigerator freezer. And my other granddaughter, Dylan, had a little single-serving ice cream cup, a little small thing, just like you buy at Walmart or whatever. And was in the bottom row, and she went there and got one other granddaughter. Cece got up and said, well, she couldn't have one. And so they said, well, honey, you can't have that. We might have nuts in it. We haven't checked it yet. Whatever. You can't have it. And Shanann went off on it. So it's not fair if she can have one at my house and have it and all that kind of stuff. I said, well, maybe it's a learning experience. I mean, you just have to learn sometimes you can't have everything that she wants. A few minutes later, she came down there and said, you just trying to kill my child. Screaming at my wife. And I wasn't there, but this is, my 2 other grandkids, and she's no one. And so he said, you actually think I would try to hurt one of the children? And she said, you just trying to kill my child. And he said, well, I think you just need to go. And leave. And she said, well, I'm not coming back. That was the second visit for her daddy. He had to come get her. And for the missed that 4 or 5 weeks. That was the part of the second week, the next 4 weeks. No contact with her. Got 2 grandkids, one of those 2 grandkids. They're 30 miles away, and we planned on going down to the beach with them and everything else, and we took out at my daughter's house and everything. All that got blown out, and when we did go to the beach, we were at North Beach, and there was that Norfolk Beach, 5 miles apart, still couldn't see them. And I said, well, okay, that's good. And there's no scenario that's like the same time going on. Well, my mother's in a rehab center. She's like 93 years old. And then Dad went up there and see her on her birthday, and then we went to have a birthday party with her. When they got back from the beach, I think it was on that Monday, they went to see her. And Chris told me, said that he wanted to come see us before we left, because he hadn't seen us told us we'd been down there, and then with them. So I went and picked them up, and at the rehab center, where my mother was staying and all them when we left, I left them there for me to go pick up. So we got out of the house, had a couple beers, cooked out some steaks and stuff. My daughter come over, and my son-in-law, my other grandkids come over and stuff. And about 8:30, 9 o'clock, I said, well, we'll take this and we'll just text her, just bring it back in the morning. You know, it's too late to be running over. I got something planned now. We text her, no, you know, it's just like, I was going to get your ass right now. You need to stay in there. So 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I had to take him back some time, because she demanded that it has to be back there. She said, I need to help getting stuff ready to go back on the trip. And this is only 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. What are you going to do that night that you can't do the next morning when a flight don't leave at 7 o'clock that night, the next night?
Well, so the question I was just going to ask, so when she went back to her parents' house, did Chris stay with you guys, or did he go with her back to that?
No, the only time Chris was down there was last week.
Oh, so this was prior to that?
Yeah.
Prior to last week.
That was the last week, but we lost our son again, because the whole time that when that last thing happened, we didn't have no contact with either one of them for the next, 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it was, till he come down.
And then when he came down, did they come visit again at your house?
No, she wouldn't come back. No, she wouldn't let the kids come to our house.
And did Chris stay with you guys for that week? Or he went there?
He went to stay with her parents. So that's what she wanted.
So do you think that she has a controlling personality?
Very controlling. Otherwise, if she's like a narcissist, something else she called him. I can't remember what the other name was. That's what says to be a narcissist personality once she's there. Sometimes I'll be bipolar. It says she goes from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. I mean, it's totally.
Would you say she's volatile? Or she can get angry quickly?
Well, I haven't never seen that side ever, but I've seen like my wife, my wife said she was screaming at her. And I said, you kind of killed my dad. I was sitting like that. And I said, you actually believe that? You see the videos of those. I don't see how she loves the kids. She never do that for the kids.
Did you ever see her and Chris fighting? They ever yelling and screaming at each other? Or no?
Anytime we visited or FaceTime, that's the first time they've been out in North Carolina in years. Come up here, and all the people come up here, and all of them come out here.
Sure. Any indication of violence between anybody? Did she ever hit him? Did he ever hit her? Any kind of anywhere it got physical?
I never known Chris. Just what all besides when he played football back when he was in the Pee Wee League, he was middle linebacker and everything.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so when he comes to visit, he winds up staying up with them, and you guys don't see each other for that last week, but you see Chris?
That last night before they left.
Last night. Okay. Does he come with the kids or just by himself?
No, just by himself. She won't let the kids come over. That's when they said they went to see my mother, which is in a rehab center, which is like 7 or 8 miles from my house. He said he wanted to see us, he goes, we left. They got to see us for that time, the whole week down there.
And do they fly back to Colorado together?
Yeah.
And do you think that's around the 9th or 10th, something like that?
Somewhere that maybe, because she flew out, because I think he went back to work on that Wednesday and Thursday. You know, I think she flew out on Friday, if I'm mistaken. Come back, that Monday, like 1 o'clock morning, I think, on her flight.
And then when they come back here, you think she's here for a day or 2, and then she goes on that trip to Arizona?
Yeah.
And she didn't take the kids with her on that trip?
Right. No, she'll never take kids with her.
And then, so Chris, he's working. Is there a babysitter? Somebody else? Do you have
Down there in the daycare. So, like I said, I think she takes me there about 7:30 o'clock in the morning. He picks them up on the way home from work. So she really don't have much of that.
Okay. So she drops them off, and then he typically picks them up?
Picks them up on his way home. I guess probably sometimes she picks them up too, I reckon, but most of the time I think he picks them up. I'm not saying that's the way the routine is all the time. I just know that.
Yeah.
That's basically how it works.
Sure. And we're trying to go over every detail of everything that they do and just see what the routine is. So, okay. And then, you know what hours he works typically at the,
I think he said, he normally goes in about 5:30 in the morning. And most times, when we FaceTime at our house, is between 6, 7, so it's around 5 something, gets home, I think. He's working on this. Like between 4 or 5 do, I mean, Stauch has to do that day. They might be earlier than that, but that's the only we always try to FaceTime them by the time they eat dinner. That's when the kids are sitting there going through something like that.
And so when they got back, and then from the time they got back to Colorado, did you speak to him at all during that time? Or did you speak to him that first time on Monday when he called?
I don't know how to talk to him since then. I probably on the phone, but probably had somebody on there, probably deleted log.
Yeah, it could be text messages, phone calls.
I'm pretty sure I did, because he had told us before he left, that baby did come over, and he said, man, he said, it's not working. He said, I don't love her anymore. He said, it's just not there. He said, he can touch the kids to death, but he said, he was just done with her.
So he knew that by the time he was about to leave.
Yeah, she knew it too. She knew it too. She knew it. He always told her about it.
So had they
he said, there's one up there in Colorado, about 50-50 state or whatever, as far as husband and wife. He said, if I'm mistaken, he said, he was the one that put the house on the market already.
Was the house for sale?
I thought he said he was going to go ahead and sell it. I think he wanted to go into a separation, put the house up for sale. I don't know who told me that deal. Especially the one they want to sell it, the house market out here anyway. I don't remember who told me that he went ahead on the market. And we go for the best, ain't got time. I like the time. Hours he works stuff, he ain't got time to watch it.
But we'll figure that out. But so they pretty much. So she wanted divorce as well, and the separation was that.
I don't know how that was working, but that takes us when she sent the picture of the sonogram, and that was about the same time Chris told her that it didn't work, and that's when she was trying to get back in our life, trying to make her all the shit she's done, over the years, whatever. I got that. I reach out to her as well as that, trying to make everything all hunky dory now again. Maybe she's thinking maybe Chris will change his mind or something or whatever. She's talking about it or whatever. I don't know what her point behind it was. But that's when I'm pretty sure that's where that text come from when he told her that he wanted a separation.
And then what was the date on that again? The text?
It was, that's what I'm trying to find, but the date's not on there. It says Thursday. I think that was when they got back to Colorado. But yeah, so she got sonogram when she got back to Colorado. But they was going to do it. She said that would have been last Thursday.
Last Thursday, the 8th, I think.
I don't think so.
Okay, today's the 15th.
Yeah, it would be like the 8th. That's why I think she was trying to reach out when the sheriff sent me a picture of the baby. I talked to you in 5 weeks now, so 6 weeks now, so you want to talk?
All right. So, and then had Chris decided, 100%, was it something like where he was saying, thinking about a separation?
I don't think so, because, he pretty much made up his mind.
That type of situation.
It wasn't working, he didn't see it getting any better.
And then has she ever, disappeared before? Has she ever, said, I'm taking the kids, going to a friend's house, or said, I'm going to go stay at my friend's house by myself for the night? You're aware of it?
I'm not aware of it. No.
Okay. And then how about him? Has it ever got bad where he's like, hey, I'm just going to go spend the night someplace else, or I got to get away from you guys, go to a hotel?
I'm not aware of it.
Nothing like that. Okay. All right. So they never had a situation in the house where one of them had to leave?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And then, of course, police ever mentioned, Christopher mentioned police coming to the house and messing around and any kind of, nothing. So it's never gotten that bad. But they just, for whatever reason.
He didn't love her anymore. It just wasn't working. It's like the thing about the new baby here, so, they said, if she was pregnant, you might just have to tough it out, until she had the baby and help her out with that. But like I said, she said it was his idea, he said totally it was her idea of wanting another child.
And then anything on either side where they're fighting about how that would work. If they do separate, who's going to stay in the house, who's going to have to move out, or
Well, like I said, they said that more or less the 50-50 state doesn't want to sell the house, and let us take child support and give it a separation. But I don't know, it's still up in the air about visitation and all that. They haven't got that far yet. He was told that he wanted to go and file for separation. I think was it 90 days, and what was it? And not a lot of, I don't know if I think it's a year.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, actually.
I'm not sure.
I don't know what the state law is on that.
Yeah. It's either 90 days or 9 months, I'm not sure which one it is, something like that. But Chris had told me about what it was.
Okay.
It wasn't gonna work, and it was we changing everything, and it would go back to, and he said, when he come down, when she was in North Carolina, when he come down, she said, Chris, will you change? I said, no, he said, I haven't changed, I just realized I'm just alone at the house, and you're there, and you're not there. And I said, there's no difference. So, that's more or less how he's working out.
Okay. And then when he called you on Monday to let you know that something's wrong, don't know where they are and all that, so can you tell me about that? What was he thinking at that time?
Well, no, he said, no, it was upset, big time, upset. He said, no, he said, he don't know what the hell's going on. He said, he don't know if he took the kids and left, but he said, the car's here, the phone's here, was it another making damn sense there? I don't know what the hell's going on. Unless he said somebody was going to pick her up, there's no evidence of nothing. I mean, like I said, they left her car there, and a phone, and her purse. So another makes bad sense, because all the doors were, when he got there, he said, I guess the police would come for a wellness check or whatever. He said, all the damn doors were locked. So he said, if she left on her own, went out the door, locked the door behind her. The door don't have to lock anyway, but still.
And he didn't mention anything about any problem with the house or anything like that. There's nothing. There was no broken window. There was no kicked in door.
He said he didn't see anything. I guess when the police got there, they looked around too. They didn't see anything. I said, I asked him, so what happened earlier in the day? He said, you told me, what that discussion, the talk they had that morning, told him to go ahead and file separation and stuff and everything. And he said, he was going to go to work. She said, I'm going to go stay with a friend.
Oh, so she said she was going to go.
Yeah, she said, she told him, I'm going to go stay with a friend, but didn't say who. But she just got back from that trip with them two, Nicole and somebody else, what those names was. But that's what he told her. She told him that she was going to go stay with a friend.
Any idea who that would be? Like who's closest to her?
I have no idea. She's got so many damn followers. I mean, she's got
a lot of Facebook friends.
100. Okay, 100 women, and a lot of them around here. And that girl that did the wellness dudes, that was one of them. They just got back from where it was Arizona. I think it was Arizona. They did to that LaBelle thing. That was, I guess she lives down here somewhere, because she's not seen her on the news broadcast or interview in front of the house.
Oh, so she went on that business trip to Arizona with her? Do you know who that is?
With that woman, Nicole something. I don't know if you've seen any news feeds or what. She was one of them that was talking to the press outside Crystal House.
Yeah, and I actually haven't seen any of that stuff yet.
That's one grandbaby catch a fish. That don't. There you go. That's her right there.
That's Nicole. That's Nicole.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't know her last name. Is that her last name?
Yeah.
Not Glasses. What's that last name?
UTOFT. UTOFT. That's the hell of that name.
Yeah. Utah. Sorry, my glasses. UTOFT.
That's what it is.
So that's the friend she went on a trip with to Arizona.
Well, there's some, well, there's a bunch of people there, put it that way.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if we've spoken to her yet or not, but we're trying to speak to everybody.
There's some pictures of her and a whole group of other people at maybe dinners and stuff, and I can't get on to them now. I can put a picture up and tell that's how much.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So and then he spoke to you, and you think it was about 4:30, right, on Monday?
Not first time. I just got home from work. I think I was eating, but when I get home, I'm up 6:30, but it's now between 4:30 and 5 there, so somewhere in that neighborhood.
And that's fine. It's all process. And so then he spoke to you, essentially said, don't know where she is, nothing's missing, the house isn't broken, and nothing like that.
He said,
just don't know where.
He said, I haven't no clue what she's been. I said, the kids are gone, he's gone.
Do you know, so the kids normally, it was Monday, so the kids normally would go to daycare?
I don't know. I've seen some posts sometimes where she'll take Cece the day to the school, and sometimes take Bella with her on the afternoon playtime, take her to a park or out to eat lunch type things and stuff like that, and go back and pick up Cece later. She'll take both at the same time.
Okay. But did Chris mention to you whether or not the kids got to daycare, whether they were there or not?
That day? On Monday?
Yeah. On Monday?
No.
Because I'm just wondering, so if they're not home when actually, I don't know what time he gets home, but I'm just that she had a doctor's appointment? Not, or you just saw it?
Not so, you know.
I just don't want to write anything.
Oh,
Because
no, no.
Okay, yeah. I'm just wondering what he had mentioned. So did he know if she made the doctor's appointment, or that didn't even come on?
That didn't come on.
And did he know if the kids went to daycare?
Never followed it. Evidently, by the time she went over there to check on Shanann, and that's the wellness check, I guess they had to call Chris to come home and open the doors and let them look around and stuff, which as soon as they did look around, and didn't find nothing. And come back a few hours later with a warrant, search warrant to search the house. Yeah. So that's basically all he told me that one night. And he was physically upset big time. He said we had no clue where they were at, what the hell happened.
And that was the call on Monday. Yeah. And then was there another phone call? Did he call or actually? I mean, that was a phone call. That was a text or anything or email. That was a phone call. Were there any other ones between now and then where you guys spoke on the phone or he texted you or emailed you or anything like that?
Just more or less telling me what was going on about the news crews being out there and all this stuff, and then still come back looking at the house. Well, yesterday they did. Like yesterday they did something, I forgot what it was.
But you guys, have you been in touch on a regular?
Oh, yeah.
Probably talked more than once, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. Anything by email or text or just all phone calls?
Most of them was phone calls, and I told him, call me when he got a chance, people were blowing up his phone and putting plates in them, and the news crews out there and all that stuff, and I said, how do you survive? And I'm like,
They got to be parked outside the house, I'm sure. Okay. So you talked to several times, a bunch of times between Monday and then going this morning.
Yeah.
And actually, what time did you get in today?
Got here at about 9:15, 9:20 when I landed at the airport.
Okay.
And that's when he called Chris and asked me to stop by here. We was on the way back from the airport.
Did he come pick you up?
I did, yeah. I wasn't going to get an Uber, but he texted me. Once I turned my phone back off airplane mode, he texted me and said, if I go when you land, I'll come pick you up.
So how do you see him on the ride? How's he doing? Is he hanging in there? Or?
He's hanging in there, but he just threw up 100 questions on what they know what's going on. He said he is good automotive, if he's done something. Just like I asked him, I said, are they still building houses like they're behind you, apartments? Where is that? Last time I came down there, they keep building behind us there. I said, are they still doing construction work? They said, yeah. So you don't think anything construction building snap or something? I said, I'm just thinking all different scenarios. I'm like, you know, that's
what you got to do. Think about any possibility. Does he have any idea? Is he anything that he thought to you saying, hey, maybe this happened, or anybody suspicious around the house? Did he have a confrontation with anybody? Any problem with a coworker? Because I guess he's a low-key guy.
Yeah, he's very cold-blooded. I like him. It takes a lot to get me pissed off.
Yeah. Let him do it. So, okay, so he's not a guy who's getting into confrontations. He's not that much. He didn't mention any enemies or anybody who's got beef with him or any reason why somebody would want to get at him or get at the family or nothing. So no threats, no. Okay, no problem. And from what?
You know, the thing.
Yeah. I might have a scribble guy, so I just scribble all over the place, but I have it up here. I remember.
I try to have a pretty good memory, but I've been in the parts business for 30-something years, so the numbers and everything else being with me.
And this is a general interview. We're just trying to get a baseline. You never know what can help.
Yeah.
Because if everybody remembers a little something, you know.
I love it. I love grandbabies to death. I love her too. But we got along good for a few days each time. It seemed like there's always something come up there. She's all about what she wants when she wants it. Not trying to put her down or nothing like that. That's just the way her personality is.
And for us, that's important to know who we're dealing with, right? If we're looking for somebody, what they might have done, where they might have gone. Is there anything you think from your knowledge of her, do you think she's the type of person who hurt herself or hurt her children?
I would say the kids, no. When it comes down to herself, that I don't know. But to the kids, I don't think she would. I know I profiled her. She's not doing a whole lot with the kids, but she loves the kids. And just like Chris loves the kids. I love the kids. Like everybody loves them. But as far as her goes up to herself, I wouldn't say yay or nay. I mean, you never know what somebody is made of.
Any health problems? Either physical or mental?
To my knowledge, she had lupus years ago, but that's more or less under control. And she had something on her spine done not too long ago.
Not sure what that is.
No, some deterioration of some vertebrae or something. She had to get done too long ago.
Any mental issue, we're forever going to a psychiatrist, psychologist, any kind of...
No, I was told about that.
And any counseling that you were aware of? The other two of them ever tried to go to counseling or no?
Something to tell Dad, sometimes they don't.
That's true. That's true. I know I don't tell my parents everything. And anything else you can think of that might be useful? Any friends that they ever talked about, or anybody who they interact with?
Yes, but she's got lots of friends that way. And they always have these little old parties and meetings sometimes at their house and stuff. But Christopher got some of his friends. I consider he stayed with friends of his last night, but he didn't feel like going back to the house, all the stuff going on over there and stuff, so he stayed with them last night.
And were those, is those his closest friends, or who would be?
I don't really know what his closest friends around here are, but I ain't really met many of them when we come down. Most of the time when we come down, we go out to the zoo and stuff like this, and everything else around here, and splash pads and stuff like that. We really met his friends that much here.
Does Chris, because I know she's got thousands of friends on Facebook, but does Chris is he on Facebook? Does he do that?
He was. He just recently deleted. He's tired of hearing all posts about negative shit. So.
Okay. And is he a social guy? Does he have a lot of friends, or?
He has not that many. He has a few. I mean, he just owns anything. Not like I do. He take me out as I am.
But he's not a big social media guy, or friends and parties.
I don't know. Like when she was young, like you said, he went to the drag races here in town in HRA. I don't know what he went to in years. Like him used to go to races all the time when he was young and stuff. Like the NASCAR races, drag races and stuff. And he's done that in years. He did that. I missed that. I've done that long.
So he probably got some break, just being by himself.
Seen him a couple of buddies work when that drag race on that one Saturday and come back home.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, was that this Saturday?
No, that was last week. Weeks ago.
Okay. And then nobody else you can think of. I mean, he didn't ever say to your dad, this guy at work is pain in the neck, or this neighbor of mine does strange stuff, or
not somebody make the dollar. I love that.
Okay. And then at the construction, I want to ask you again about that. So there's construction going on behind the house.
Yeah.
Did he see anybody?
Well, I just brought that up to him on the way back from the airport.
Okay. He didn't mention it.
He didn't. I mentioned that to him. I said they still doing construction work on now because I don't know around here. Around people when they come, little crews come and go. You got electricians over here and plumbers over here, woodworkers over here, and they work 2 or 3 jobs and poof, they're gone. It's safe to hear. I'm just throwing that out there. I said I don't think about the different scenarios what could happen. Right. I just throw that out there and said, for the kids, I've been in the backyard. And, I mean, there's plenty of people around there, but depending on what time of day it was, stuff too. So.
Yeah, but so nothing suspicious stuff. That you get everywhere. Okay. Yeah, and obviously, Chris, they're talking to him. And we're talking to everybody. If anybody saw anything suspicious, hopefully that'll come off. But okay.
But I did mention something. Chris mentioned something to me that on the way back that there was a debit or credit thing on one of her credit cards for that same day they got back for a taxi or a limo. So she called the bank to make a transaction. She used a credit card for a taxi or a limo on that same day.
On Monday? Oh, do you know what time that was?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to find out. I said, you know what time it was and everything? He said, no. He said, it was just a transaction. He thought y'all might deal with that already.
Yeah, and they probably
might.
We got so many people working on this that.
I said, well, that's the limo all the girls took back. I think there's 3 girls from around here. And I said, was that the limo the girls took back from the airport? Go back home. And I said, there's 3 different people, 3 different places. That on the news broadcast one day, she said she brought the man home in 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. She dropped her off.
Who's that?
Nicole.
Nicole brought her home.
Okay. That's what the news broadcast said.
So Nicole went with her to Arizona.
Yeah.
So Nicole must have parked the car or something.
Yeah, but I asked Chris said, yeah, Nicole's car was at the airport. I said, well, if her car was at the airport, why didn't even damn taxi or a limo taxi?
Yeah. But does he think that's what the charge was? Is that they took a taxi home from?
Well, that's what I said. Well, he didn't know. He didn't know what time it was. All it said was a transaction for either a taxi or a limo taxi for that date, but he didn't know what time it was or anything else.
And they couldn't tell him if the taxi came, what time?
They don't. It's just on the credit card payment.
All right. We'll find out. About that.
Just all put out there.
Everything matters.
I'm just trying to think of things.
If they got in the car and they went somewhere, obviously we wouldn't know that.
Yeah, right.
And did he mention anything about any neighbors or anything? Any neighbors? Because I'm assuming he probably talked to his neighbors.
Yeah, well, everybody out there looking out the windows and shit.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Yeah,
but they didn't see anything or hear anything.
My mom, like I said, haven't seen nothing, but depending on what time of the day it was, you know, a lot of people going to work and stuff and everything else, so.
Okay. Anything else you can think of? Well, it's just, Chris, does he have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, sisters.
Are they close at all? Or do you reach out?
They're kind of close to me, they talk quite a bit here recently. That's my daughter, Jamie. Yeah, he lives in Portland, about 20 miles, 30 miles from my house. Yeah.
Just in case we need to reach out to her.
Yeah, she's in Good Morning America, called her yesterday.
Who did?
Good Morning America, called my daughter yesterday, one of them had me call Jamie, says, excuse me, I'm not.
That's the thing, the news, we don't love this.
Yeah,
They are national news, anytime somebody goes missing, it's just, okay. And then, is there any relatives of yours here in Colorado? When Chris was at, there's no cousins, there's no distant relatives, nothing, And you know if, I was gonna say wrong, say Shanann, but it's Shanann. Yeah, you're used to that. So Shanann, do you know if she has any relatives here?
Not my knowledge, no, their son, whenever he moved out here, he got some friends of hers, was out here or something, I don't remember exactly the reason they moved out here to begin with, but when they first moved out there, he worked at a Ford dealership, and she was working a couple different jobs, hot jobs and stuff, and I think that's the second house they had another house before he got now.
Second house?
Yeah, if I remember serves right, I could be wrong.
Okay, no problem. And do you know why they moved to Frederick? Any particular reasons? Close to work or what's that?
I'm not sure how far his work is from here, because when he was working at the Ford dealership, he was working in town where he was working at. There wasn't just a Ford dealership out here, there was another one, Longmont, that's where he drove every day.
Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty close community. But there was nothing special about Frederick. It wasn't that, they had some friend here or something relative. Okay. Well, I can't think of anything else, unless there's something else that pops up you think that might be useful. I mean, they're gonna, you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna search everything, we're talking to everybody. Yeah. So, and obviously the whole country's aware of it. It's national news. But yeah, we'll do everything we can and see where things lead us. Yeah. So, if you do think of anything else, let us know. I'm gonna be, so we're sort of a joint team of investigators here. We have, of course, Frederick PD, we have state CBI, FBI, so we have FBI as well. So we have a whole group of investigators who are working on this, and we will be until we resolve it.
There's got to be an answer somewhere.
Well, that's it. I mean,
well, I hate to say that my wife watched a lot of ID Discovery.
Yeah, my wife too.
And she did. I said, no, you're not filming. I said, you much prefer you'll have them come a lot of ID Discovery.
Yeah, no, it's a tough situation. Yeah, with these things, you can't make any assumptions.
Not anything. Everything in black and white.
Well, I got a feeling Chris will probably going to be here for a while because talking to him is going to be from the day he was born. Or Joe. It's probably going to be a long day for you. I apologize in advance, but we got to get every single detail we can. And then, of course, we'll be at this round the clock. So I know what can make you most comfortable. You have his vehicle. You have access to that if you need it. You got the keys. Okay. And then obviously, you know, I don't know how much there is to do at Frederick, or if you want to go get lunch, or whatever you want to do.
Walk up down the street, find something to eat.
That's what I was going to say. I'm sure.
I didn't even plug my phone up, so I'm sorry, just like.
Okay. All right.
You gonna be around?
Yeah, I'm gonna be around. We'll be in and out.
Mark.
Yeah.
And that was Chris's best friend from way back when they was Mark.
Easy to remember. Okay.
That's good.
Well, and Graham here too, one of us will try to keep in touch with you. Again, we got a room full of investigators. We have all sorts of people out on the road, running down leads, speaking to people, I mean, as you can imagine, right?
I know y'all said y'all had leads, so you can't say nothing about that.
To be honest, perfectly honest with you,
I told you yet.
I didn't even know about this until early this morning. So basically, we call in bodies. I mean, if we need to, we can call in 100 more investigators.
Yeah.
So we call in everybody who we need. So I got a phone call this morning saying, come down to Frederick PD. So I'm behind the curve as far as what's going on. Yeah, so I'm just here. You walked in, hey, I can talk to you. So if we get any information, we're going to let you know. And then, you're right here at the police department. So, yeah, so just if you want to make yourself comfortable as you can. I'm going to get glass of water and stuff. Those are things you need to do after that.
Lock us in.
That would be a first.
That would be a slight far from that, I wouldn't.
What the heck?
It's like a slack thing. Come in.
This would be a first, yeah. Okay.
That's okay. Never mind.
I don't know if they see that.